Watch out, because we're crashing head-on into insanity.
What the hell is insanity?
Insanity has crash-landed in New Mexico. Wait, new what? That's right, New Mexico is the new LA.
Hot in the mountains, it looks like LA.
Only we are bringing you every twist and turn as we go behind the scenes with exclusive set tours.
We're going into my office. Check us out.
We're one-on-one with the original bad boy, Dennis Hopper.
I don't have stories about Hollywood. Hollywood has stories about me.
The Easy Rider talked candidly about turning Tinseltown upside down.
In my sex life and drug life, I certainly have none.
Give us a drug story.
No, I do not.
And
she's the best-looking girl I think I've ever, been around.
he used to date Jennifer Love Hewitt, but only we can tell you who got their claws in Ross McCall now. Then,
I like it because I get to do this.
Cops and Roberts?
Hi, this is my boyfriend. Hi.
Infanity's got the scoop on Ross and Eric's real-life bromance. And Linda Park's intoxicating character.
She has a drinking problem. It's just a little drinking problem.
How the cast scored on our infamous quiz.
Who worked on a crab boat in Oregon?
Who passed with flying colors? And who got blindsided?
Bob Dylan?
Don't go anywhere because we're about to knock you out on Infinity. Crash. Fasten your seatbelts, guys, because we're taking you on a wild ride from the set of Crash. Hey, everyone, you're watching Infinity, the ultimate TV fan guide. I'm your host, Adriana Costa. Based on the 2006 Oscar-winning movie of the same title, Crash interweaves multiple storylines where seemingly random characters collide. We collided with Hollywood heavy hitters like Eric Roberts and Dennis Hopper, who called New Mexico home way before the show did.
Do you feel more inspired when you're down in New Mexico?
Well, I love New Mexico. I always feel inspired here, especially when I get up in the mountains up in Santa Fe and Taos. I just, it's a whole spiritual experience for me.
He used to be Easy Rider, but now he's speeding his way through another season as fresh out of rehab music mogul Ben Senders.
And I'm not leaving until I get some answers.
What's it like working with the unbelievable, the legendary Dennis Hopper?
He's fantastic. His eyes just light up the screen when you work with him. So that's kind of exciting. And also, off screen, the stories that he has are just, great.
You just like lock him in a room and quiz him for hours, right?
And he'll be going, oh yeah, and all these famous names that just kind of flow out of his mouth.
But it's not just water cooler talk around this set. Hopper's real-life stories were the inspiration for building his character's past.
Crazy, huh? You're f***ing crazy.
They're big episodes about Dennis's past. So for him to like that, we really explore who he was in the 60s, a woman he left behind, the love of his life, his best friend who he left behind, a family he left behind. So we get into all this kind of old, great Dennis stuff. And so we were very curious as to how he would accept what we said about his past. It's a past he's never heard about, so we're inventing his past as we go. So it's always interesting to see what the actors, feel about that.
When it comes to acting in the Roberts family, move over, Julia and Emma, because with over 25 years in the biz, Eric is a true veteran. He may play the no-nonsense billionaire Seth Blanchard, but on set, Eric is a cut-up.
Ross McCall. Hi, this is my boyfriend. Hi. Oh, you're on camera. I didn't know.
You shot with Eric Roberts?
New to the cast, and really fitted in well, and is very funny on set. And I have to keep telling him to stop making jokes and stop messing about with the crew and get down to the work, because he's a fun person to have on set.
What are you doing? My pants are down.
Are you at all like your character in Crash?
No.
You can't draw any parallels.
There are some because I'm playing them, and you can only play people through yourself. But so he's gentle like me, he's calm like me, he takes his time like me, and everything else is somebody else.
The cast members are sensational. Peggy Lipton, Eric Roberts, Keith Carradine. We've just been having great guests. Great. And the writing's really good. We're going for it.
And while the men may be driving the show, the ladies aren't necessarily taking the back seat.
I love being part of this. It's the original premise. It's just extrapolated that everybody lives these in this little orbit of their own, and occasionally they crash into each other, and it's really been a lot of fun.
I don't think that's a good idea. You know, I think Seth needs to rest, not face the paparazzi outside of Mr. Chow's.
For Linda Park, playing Robert's trophy wife isn't as easy as it looks.
I've really kind of fallen in love with this character. So positively, I think that her ability for compassion and understanding, especially within the marriage and with everything that's going on, that she has an ability for a great amount of compassion without being a pushover.
If the market thinks there's something wrong with Seth, BWE stock will take a hit.
Julie Warner isn't in any danger of being a pushover. As Eric Roberts' assistant, she keeps him and everyone else in line.
She has this fierce kind of loyalty to her boss. She has a lot of personal feelings toward her boss. They're not inappropriate, but, you know, she feels very much like she's part of his family.
That is a very interesting point.
With Dennis Hopper at the wheel and Eric Roberts riding shotgun, Crash is on course to be one wild ride.
Stop the car, pull over.
Crash, without a doubt, is truly a character-driven story. It doesn't have to have a franchise, cops, lawyers, doctors. We can tell a human story, and we can tell multiple human stories, and we can take them wherever we want.
I'm here with the one, the only legendary Dennis Hopper, who plays Ben on the show Crash. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Wow.
So
the one and only.
You are. You're one of the original castmates.
Right.
What's it like coming back with all these new members?
Well, it's really getting great. I know that you've done everything, but I was in rehab. I was in no shape to deal with my daughter's death. I came back after 8 months in rehab, so I'm sober through the whole, at least half of the show so far. I've been sober, and my youngest daughter was murdered, which we haven't seen on the show. We'd only seen my oldest daughter. So I go back and I get really into trying to find out who killed her and so on. And it's really great.
The world knows him from films like Giant, Rebel Without a Cause, Easy Rider, Apocalypse Now, Blue Velvet, Hoosiers, and True Romance. Dennis Hopper is the definition of an artiste and has mastered the art of, well, art.
You have a book coming out.
Yeah, it's a big table book, and it deals with about 800 of my photographs from the 60s. I was with Martin Luther King in the South. I was with the hippie movement in San Francisco, Haight-Ashbury, and the free speech movement. And I was around the art scene, so I took the early photographs of Andy Warhol and Roy Lichtenstein, Rosenquist, and all the pop artists. So I sort of covered a history of the 60s. I've had a love-hate relationship with Hollywood from the beginning. When I was 18 and 19, I did Rebel Without a Cause and Giant, but I got in trouble for being difficult. I was blackballed. I went to New York. I studied for 5 years in Strasbourg, and I came back and made Easy Rider.
Celebrating its 40th anniversary in 2009, the critically acclaimed Easy Rider garnered Hopper, writer, director, and actor in the film, numerous award nominations, including a win at the Cannes Film Festival for Best First Work.
Making Easy Rider, winning Best New Director, and having it being such a success was obviously a high point.
Do you have any defining moments that stick out to you in your career?
No, but in my sex life and drug life, I certainly have. No.
Give us a drug
No,
story.
I do not.
I bet it's good.
No, I'm just being facetious. Being an Easy Rider and Rebel Without a Cause, and knowing James Dean the first year of my life was amazing.
Starring side by side in Giant and Rebel Without a Cause, James Dean, the undeniable icon and heartthrob, made a lasting impression on his friend.
I still think about him when but he was the best actor I ever saw, too. So, like, you know, I've had really a very wonderful life. It's been terrific. I'm very creative, and had some really down, low points, but, you know, who doesn't?
Yeah, that's true.
And most of it was my fault anyway. I don't have stories about Hollywood. Hollywood has stories about me.
Don't go anywhere, because when Infinity Crash returns,
I'm a little badass.
why this tough guy is on a short leash off set.
I decided to take her down here with me this season, so she did the road trip, and she lives here, and she's having the best time.
And only we uncover the secrets of how they turned New Mexico into LA.
The crew has a really big challenge trying to do that, but it is part of the Hollywood process. We make it look good.
Plus, Eric Roberts talks shop.
I was the first guy they offered Dancing with the Stars to.
Why he turned down the hottest dance show on TV. Then, how to take a hit Hollywood style.